Today I fucked up by accidentally wiping my ass with the dress shirt I'm wearing. Obligatory, this actually happened yesterday, but I knew what had to be done. So I work in a nice office in a big city, Big Four accounting, and all of my co-workers are young and dress nice. So I try to look decent when I come to work. I have a white shirt Wednesday thing going on so I can keep my black pants / white shirt combos to a minimum. You can see where this is going. So normally I take a dump 1 or 2 times at work each day. I'm salary, so it's not some big pay to shit thing, I just have to shit, so I do. I'm also pretty particular with my hygiene, and at home almost strictly use wet wipes, you know, so my ass is clean. When I'm at work I generally use the single bathroom to poo, which actually have showers for people that like run and shower over lunch. So there is plenty of privacy. I don't bring the wet wipes, but I do however have the whole room to myself, and after using TP, I keep my pants half down, wash my hands, and use the damp paper towels to finish off the job at work. Edit, then pull my pants up and clean my hands more officially. Velp, it happened. My technique came back to bite me and I felt what was absolutely not a damp paper towel slide through my cheeks. Luckily these are post-TP wipes, and the residual was minimal, but definitely there, and man did I feel stupid. It was low enough on the tail of the shirt that it was tucked into my pants the rest of the day. I fucking hope, and I went on with work, including an hour-long meeting with about 8 people. Cleaned it well in the sink, but I got a whiff later in the day which disgusted me, and took an early train home. No one commented on it, and as far as I know, no one noticed. Super tame compared to some of the stuff on here, but I was extremely embarrassed, and I'll most likely be changing up the post-wipe ritual sooner than later. Too long didn't read, I accidentally wiped my butt a bit with my dress shirt and got a whiff or 2 later in the day. Edit, everybody not using flushable wipes at home, give that a go. But do not flush them. Comments. Edit 2, shout out to all of the trauma victims who shit with their shirts fully off due to this having happened or strong fear of it. I'll be keeping my shirt on, but I applaud the self-awareness. Edit 3, sorry to all septic / sewage workers who deal with flushable wipe issues, I hear you. Hate to tell you this buddy, but if you got a whiff, others did too. Sincerely sorry. I'm going to pretend it was just in my head, but maybe even more of a FU than I thought. It's just sauce from the shit sandwich I had. Also I eat with my butt. Weird. Some guy at my office smelled like shit yesterday too. Does your office have a shower? Thoughtful face. During work, co-worker, you got something on your butt. Yeah, I wiped my butt with. Co-worker, it's my eyes. It, a word. OP, oh yeah, thanks. Co-worker, because you got shit marks on your butt. I've always had a fear of this happening, which usually leads me to unbutton and pull my shirt up a little bit. Today I fucked up by not believing a common movie trope. I've been watching a bunch of films in quarantine and noticed how often people have their hands tied in zip ties, so I, in all my infinite wisdom, thought, how hard can it be to escape them? I found some zip ties in the garage and placed a knife on a shelf next to me in case I couldn't get free. So after a few minutes of fumbling around with my hands, I had the zip ties tight around my wrists behind my back. I went through 10 minutes of struggling to escape before giving up and going for the knife. Now what I hadn't figured is how hard it is to reach for things with my hands tied behind my back. This meant the knife was now out of my reach. Continued struggling and jumping to try to reach the knife and ended up knocking a box off the shelf below, causing it to clatter loudly on the floor. This resulted in my dad coming in to check on me. All he saw was me struggling to reach a knife with my hands zip-tied behind my back. I turned around to a face of pure disappointed and confusion. In the end I had to confess to my stupidity and get him to cut the zip ties. Pretty sure he thinks I have some sort of bondage fetish now and is considering putting me up for adoption. Should have just trusted movies. Too long didn't read. I zip-tied my hands behind my back and couldn't get out. My dad found me and had to release me. Edit, thanks to all the people informing me how to escape zip ties in the future. I just wish I'd known that before I tied my hands. Tried this once with my hands in front. I was told if you swing your arms from over your head downwards, while pulling your hands apart, the force would cause the zip ties to snap. Instead I double punched myself in the dick. Used to be a semi-pro magician, and dabbled in escapology. First rule of escapes, never, ever practice alone. I violated that once, all by myself, locked myself up in chains so tight it took me the better part of an hour to get free, and was black and blue. By performance time, had it down to 30 seconds. Yeah, you're getting put up for adoption. But maybe this story won't be put in the report so you can start off on a clean slate with your new family, haha. You know they use them in real life, right? Don't you ever see those riot cops with bundles of zip ties hanging from their uniform? Disposable handcuffs are several times the size of regular zip ties, often with a metal core. Consumer grade zip ties can be broken pretty easily with the proper leverage. The zip ties cops have been carrying on their vests at the protests lately are not for decoration or in case they suddenly need to organize some cables. Today I fucked up by interbreeding snails. I've had a fish tank for almost a year now. I started with 20 snails, and over the course of this year each generation of snail has had daily mass orgies. Now we are probably like on the 50th 60th snail generation. Even quite possibly more than that. Hundreds and hundreds of snails have been born and died. They have become so inbred that they are now so depressed and slow that they can no longer really move or eat or reproduce like their sexy relatives had once before. Now their numbers are decreasing drastically. Some snails are born over the shells of their deceased inbred relatives and they don't even make it off the pile of the lost before they themselves pass. It is truly a hell of my own unintentional creation. They thought they could just have huge kinky snail orgies on the regular with no ramifications, but they never thought about the future. They failed to recognize the drastic ramifications of banging the same 20 snails confined to their small 10-gallon glass prison. They only sought to indulge in sin, and now they're severely depressed. Inbred children must pay the ultimate price. Too long didn't read, Habsburg snails are in the fish tank. Am I the only one wondering what a snail orgy looks like? It's very slow. Like their sexy relatives had once before. Oh my god, I'm trying to envision what sexy snails would look like. Sweet Home Snailabama. Edit. Wow, my first award, thank you kind stranger. We accidentally did this with guppies. But worse, we bought 2 guppies, a male and female. Fun fact about guppies. They have little peens, okay fine, a modified fin, that acts like a penis. They had their mating, had 3 babies, who then promptly got eaten. Oops. So next time mama got knocked up we moved her to a different tank, and then poor daddy guppy got taken to little fishy heaven by the filter gods of the tank. R.I.P. Mama gave birth to 3 more babies, a boy and 2 girls. Once the babies were old enough and big enough we put them back in the big tank with the other fish. Surprise Pikachu face when now mama and the 2 girls are all knocked up by their son/brother. Rinse and repeat with a few generations of who knows WTF relations and we have a colony of guppies 100 plus, and at that point we start having a few with bent spines. We have definitely stopped saving the babies, but survival of the fittest means that some of them survived anyway. I went back to college and came back to all the tanks. We had like 6 of different varieties and 1 guppy tank gone. My dad was done with fish. Daddy fish at least didn't have to live to see his fucked up genetic family tree. Sweet Home Alabama.